kind of imagine 1998, all five major labels knew that they were going to anoint some company to be the first to stream all the content from all the major labels.
Mm.
And they all knew there's like, I had 20 competitors. It wasn't just me. And of course, there was Napster, right, who didn't even bother to get licenses from anybody. They were just stealing the music. But there were about 20 of us in Silicon Valley that had venture funding, and we're kind of like fighting it out to be the first. And some of those guys were so desperate to get the content, they signed incredibly stupid deals, like $20 million upfront licensing fees, stuff that you couldn't sustain it. And so I would go in and I would negotiate, and they're like, hey, the Music Match guys were in here yesterday, and they signed a deal for 20 million. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it. It was kind of like, I don't know if I used to liken it to Mike Tyson. Do you remember who Mike Tyson was, the
Oh yeah.
boxer,
Yeah.
who I would
That's my
liken
guilty pleasure, dude. Late at night, I watch sports highlights sometimes, and Mike Tyson's like one of my top five.
Well, at the time, he was famous for just, like beating the shit out of people. And I felt like every single record label meeting I went into, I'd go down to LA or I'd go to New York, and it was like, I felt like they were just beating the shit out of me. And as long as I didn't sign a stupid deal, I won. And that's what I did. I would just show up, we'd have a meeting, they would beat the shit out of me. And I'm like, nope, we're not signing that deal. And I go to the next one and they do exactly the same thing. When we finally got it done, all five of them magically had the same number, $5 million each up front, and then a penny per play. And it was so interesting that they all knew what they were doing. And they knew
Mm.
that nobody would be successful unless they got all five majors.
So they somewhere there was a one of those rooms that they all go to, right? Where they just price fixed and decide themselves.
Likely.
Yeah.
Nobody ever
Allegedly.
Nobody ever admitted to that because that would be illegal,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure something like that happens.
Yeah. It's funny how none of those illegal things ever happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you've reinvented a lot of industries though. Which and I don't, are you allowed to talk about what you're working on now?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm totally excited to talk about that.
Okay. Well, I think that's what we'll do is we'll tease Tim Bratton's. I mean, I don't think there's an industry more important than what you're currently working on or anything as disruptive is what you're currently doing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called an open loop. And if you want to know what it is, you can tune in Tuesday, May 5th. And Tim Bratton is going to be here. He's going to be the guest of honor. He's brilliant, man. He's so much fun to listen to. He's extraordinarily brilliant and extraordinarily humble. And those two things normally don't coincide. But Tim has found a way to bring them both together. And he's done a bunch of other stuff too. Like I mean, you're reinventing Airbnb and you've built and just been like really kind of very exploratory from an entrepreneurial perspective.
I I love to invent things. I just love it. And it's so funny because when I was in college, I just knew that's what I wanted to do. I loved inventions, and I worked with a patent attorney, and because I was at UC San Diego and I had access to the entire engineering library, he would pay me $8 an hour to do patent search. And I would go into the library and I'd be in there for like 12 hours doing all the patent search. And I'm sure he was billing me out at 200 bucks an hour, but it was a fantastic job for a young engineering student that just loved circuits and programming and computers. And it was fantastic. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've always loved inventions.
And can we talk about the thing that you just launched?
Sure. I don't know if you want to wait till Tuesday, but I'm
Yeah,
happy
we
to
should
talk
wait
about
till Tom. So you're getting me excited, Tim. This is your fault. There's another thing that we're going to talk about on today in a second open loop. Good job, Tim Bratton. That's awesome, man. I'm so glad that you're doing that. I really appreciate you. We've got a pretty large audience. There's almost 1,800 people in the Free Forever community. I don't know how many people watch the live stream because it's streamed across 5 different channels. But if you're watching this live, Tim Bratton will be here Tuesday, May 5th. It's 6 p.m. Eastern. You can tune in wherever it is that you happen to be. But if you want to join the Zoom, where you actually get to interact with him directly, just go to dailysigh.ai, join the Free Forever community. The link to the Zoom is in the calendar, and we'd love to have you there. Katie, your hands up. Don't ask an open loop question, though, Katie,
Just,
because we're
it's
going to
not,
answer those on Tuesday. Okay.
it's quick and concise. I was just
Amazing.
wondering what years you were at UCSD.
I was there from 1984 to 1987.
So was that just before or during the San Diego supercomputer?
I think it was right about that time. It was new.
Yeah.
It might have been like 86 or so when they brought that in, I think, but it was kind of like the very end. I never got to use it, but it did spend a lot of time in the computer lab. Just not that computer lab.
Nice.
And Tim's done an IPO and a reverse IPO and all sorts of stuff that most of humanity never gets exposed to. 15 years in Silicon Valley, longer than that?
Oh, 25.
25. I've shaved a
25
decade
years.
off. You just seem so young, Tim. I was like, there's no way it was
Thank
20.
thank you.
Yeah.
And technically it was a reverse merger. I
Reverse
don't know
merge.
I don't know what a reverse IPO is, but
I thought that's when you take a public company and you take them private.
well, yeah, I guess that would be taking it private, but I didn't do that. What we did was a reverse merger. So we took over a company. This was at Spatializer, and we took over a company that was already publicly traded. So we didn't have to do an IPO, but we went public by merging with a company that was already public, but was
Mm,
like traded on the pink sheets.
yeah. A Trojan
So
horse IPO.
yeah, it was a reverse merger technically, but
Yeah. I keep trying to use a different phrase, man. I just don't like reverse merger. Neil says Tim is who I want to be when I grow up. Me too, dude.
me
Um,
me three.
yeah. Tim's like, I did it. Neil, what is would you download a car? That was a joke from back in the day, right?
God, you guys make me feel so old because Tim knows what I'm talking about. There was during when Napster and all these torrent systems became popular, the media industry, I don't know if it's the music guys specifically or if it was music and video guys, but whatever, the media conglomerates, they started this massive advertising campaign and the slogan was, "Would you download a car?" Try to make people feel guilty
Oh
about
yeah, it's like,
downloading music.
would you steal a car? Would you steal music?
Oh, it was specifically Lars Ulrich. Well, it was a whole bunch of people, Dylan. I know Lars was a giant pain in the ass with like you can't record it in our shows and all that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, these were actual commercials that were all over TV in like 1999. And yeah, Stacy doesn't remember that. Yeah, it's just I don't
Fun
know.
I just
fun
I guess you had
fact,
to be a certain age.
Lars Ulrich lives in Mill Valley,
Oh yeah.
as
oh,
does Sammy Hagar and Bonnie Raitt. There's a lot of musical stars here.
Yeah.
and where
So it's a meme now, but at the time it was a very serious propaganda campaign.
I'm trying to watch this link that Grant dropped, but I'm gonna watch it later. All right, we've got stuff to do. If you're watching this, the Daily Sigh is taking on something of a more active narrative approach for some of our shows. What we would like is we would like to change your life and your business. And I really mean that. As you'll see on the call, we have some of the brightest people I've ever been exposed to across levels of analysis that are extraordinarily diverse, from SEO to sales and marketing to coding to finance to inventions to all sorts of fun stuff. And we've all talked about it at length, and we'd like to start playing something like the hot seat game with a handful of entrepreneurs. So if you have a business and you'd like help, we want to help you. And that can mean anything that you might want it to mean. But all I'm asking is you reach out to us and let us know, like, hey, I need help with insert whatever it is you need help with here. And you'll get the full weight of what I'm referring to as the council behind you. And we'll come and honestly go to war on your behalf, dedicate an entire call or an entire show to you and your business. And that might be, building on your behalf or I don't know what, troubleshooting ads or honestly just masterminding for you. So if you'd like to apply, go to dailyside.ai, click on the join live button, join the free forever community, and then just private message me. Message me who you are, what your business is, a web address if you have one, and what your big problem is. And everybody that you see here on this screen is going to commit themselves to helping you for the entirety of a call and probably some pre-call time prior to or after. And if we can get good at this, this could be something that we build out and just run a script on. I think it'd be a lot of fun to maybe do one a week and see how many people we can help to what degree. And then as people are watching us help, it also helps everybody on the council sort of expose their skills and show you what they're good at. Speaking of, if you want to hire anybody from the council, you can always go to councilpages.co. And there's a directory of everybody who's ever showed up, along with how to reach out to them and what their superpower is. The goal here is we attract people to the call that help us identify what there is to do that's actionable today. I started the Daily Sigh because I was massively, massively overwhelmed. And I just wanted to be able to keep up. And so I was like, man, what if I just run a Zoom call every day at the end of the day and we all talk about what happened and what we should do? So, council, with that beautiful prompt, a perfect transition, if I do say so myself, what's happened today and what should we do?
Think we should let Wayne tear apart my ads. I think that was the
All right. Wayne, are you ready to rock?
Yeah, give me 2 more minutes. I'm just
It wasn't ready,
Well,
Neil.
you got to
almost ready.
come prepared, Wayne.
I'm
prepared,
fairly
man. That's
prepared.
exactly right.
I just
Have y'all watched the Elon Altman thing? Because I think that's something to do, is to pay attention to what's going on there. I feel like wherever that goes is going to be a strong indication of maybe the next decade of all of our lives. Dylan Fetch.
Yeah, I have an answer to Joshua Kogar's question from yesterday in relation to M dash.
Will you
My-
rephrase the question? Let us know what it was that he asked.
Should he build a website in M dash?
Okay. And Dylan, incidentally, is like a super wicked smart WordPress. His core proficiency, at least on Upwork, is WordPress site speed. So there, he said yesterday, very few people know what he knows about WordPress. Did I paraphrase that okay?
Yeah, I was just saying that because you like embellishment.
Yeah, not an embellishment. I like setting humility aside and telling the truth. All right, keep going.
M dash positions itself as a successor to WordPress that solves some of the issues of WordPress. It is created by Cloudflare. The primary issue it's trying to solve is plugin security. As I mentioned yesterday, anybody can make a WordPress plugin and put it on the WordPress plugin directory, and thus anybody can put a security vulnerability in your site at any given time. And people love, love, love to install 60 plugins on their WordPress sites and then never update them. So M dash purports to the plugins have to request permissions up front. They can only access what you allow them to access, which WordPress plugins can access whatever they want, your entire database, your entire file system. And the plugins are supposed to run in a sandbox, which means they're isolated from things that they can hurt. And the entire thing runs without a server. It runs on Cloudflare workers. It uses Cloudflare's D2 storage things. One of the benefits of that is that when somebody is not on your site does not exist. It exists in the way you want it to. It doesn't exist in the way that you have to pay for. So you only have to pay for your website while people are on it. I do not suggest using it. So one reason being, or I would not use it for a client or anything real. If you want to make one for yourself to try it out, then I think that makes sense. It is a very new thing. In fact, so like yesterday we were
It's still in
hating on their
beta.
homepage. I'm sorry?
It's still in beta.
Yeah, we were hating on their homepage. I think they made their homepage awful on purpose to prevent people from using it. If you read the page, it like encourages you to not use it. It says like
There's a
currently
bunch of
this is
people who it's not for.
yeah, currently this is for a pretty narrow set of people, mostly developers and people who just like the newest thing. The rate of adoption of WordPress is just too high. It looks a lot like Cloudflare just wants more people to use their workers in D2 storage, and because like that's part of I think it's open, like I think you can use it like where you want, but they just want to get people into their ecosystem. Uh, yeah. So that's the gist of it.
The question was maybe wasn't so much if you should use it as if does it solve the agenta question better than what WordPress 7 is or will. So that's kind of more the curiosity that came from my question. But we don't
What
necessarily
is
have
the agentic question? Can you ask it?
like is I guess is WordPress 7 going to be able to adequately address kind of having an AI centric infrastructure, one that it's still dynamic, so it's slower than something like a static site would be. And then just as far as providing client side, server side, and abilities type of connections to the agents that will be querying sites. I'm just curious how WordPress is going to be the capabilities for that. So that may be a longer question than what we maybe wanted to tackle right now, but
Yeah, I will likely need to reconvene on that. But agents on the front or agents on the back? Are you concerned about agents visiting your site and being able to see it and understand it and like it, or using agents on the back end to make edits, run your site, whatever, or
well, I think
both?
only both.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't totally have an answer for that, but I do have an interesting anecdote that Cosm has paid for and you all can have for free.
No, no, I'm reselling this to all y'all. If this is good, you have to Venmo me money. Go, Dylan.
Okay. So if you vibe code an app, there is a 95% chance it uses React for the front end. Go to any of your vibe coded apps, inspect element, control, or, right click, inspect element, control F, React. If your site is built in React, AI cannot see it. The text is rendered using JavaScript.
Mhm.
Google will run the JavaScript and see your site, so you will get crawled by Google, but AI will not. It will not execute your JavaScript. It will tell the person, even if you give it directly the URL and say, visit this website, most likely it will just make it up rather than tell you it can't see. But it'll tell you like I gave a link to a GitHub issue today and it responded that I can't like this is JS rendered, I can't read it. And so I had to copy and paste the text in. And that's like it's like 50-50 between the most popular frameworks, whether they can or cannot be seen by AI. But that's also like a whole nother thing that the ones that are server rendered can be seen and the ones that are client rendered cannot. And it's not just like, oh, well, we'll totally use server rendered then. Well, when you use server rendered, then you bear the burden of performance. Whenever you use client rendered, you're using their computer to run your JavaScript and display the site. If you're doing server rendered, you are using your server to run the JavaScript and display the site, and then you send them the result of that. So, something to consider while you're working on your vibe coded apps. I believe React can be modified such that it is not like JS rendered text. Um, but yeah, I
But
can't I can't
you could
talk and
also
look at
just create rich schema for that page, which would tell the LLMs what it's about.
Yeah. If you put your entire text and everything into um maybe the head element or something. I don't know enough about React to say like, yeah, you can totally just put schema, like put all the text you need into schema and it'll be able to be seen by the AI. So yeah, I literally just thought to ask this within the last 10 minutes or so. So
Well, thanks for
still
circling back and answering that for us, though.
yeah, I was very curious. Whenever I started reading it, I was like, "Ooh, I'm glad you sent me this. I didn't know about it." And then the more I read it, I was like, "Okay, this is like cool, but it kind of needs to develop." That was another reason, is that like it's brand new and these systems are like very plugin based, and so there's no plugins yet, or themes or any of that. Like that's where the whole WordPress adoption thing comes in.
So, what we need, and HubSpot claims to have this and they don't. But if anybody wants a great big opportunity, which by the way, we should add this to, not that Grant needs more things to do, but we should add this to council pages, which is just things that need to be done, like ideas that people need to seize. Because one of them is the, what do we call it? The second brain agency, um, which is also just a data cleanup agency. Another one is an AEO for CMS. There is no AEO for CMS. And there needs to be one. And I would build it, but I don't know how, and I don't have the time, effort, or energy. And I'm already doing a professional services agency. But golly, would I be the best, I think, reseller of that damn thing if somebody built it or wanted to partner on it. I would even fund it, but somebody has to build it. Jacob, your hands up.
I was real quick. I was just thinking the same exact thing. And Dylan, you specialize, as we found out yesterday, in site speed, so it's literally right up your alley.
I've already hired a Dylan on
I would say
Upwork. I'm just
Cosm
waiting
hired
for
me to
him
do
do
this
it.
and then is now trying to get other people to do it too. He knows that I'm fueled by rage and
That's
spite.
right. If somebody can outrun Dylan, that's funny. A horse never runs as fast as when there's another horse on the track, y'all. This is just a lesson in motivation.
Costin, who was that company with high level that was trying to do the SEO, the AI
Search
SEO?
Atlas.
Search Atlas,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a reseller of those guys. I'm a big fan. Monik Bond is a good dude. He was in Driven for a while. They took a direction that's like very scalable. You know what I mean? And it's like I think that there might need to be a little bit more pen to page there.
Yeah, has anybody done any tracking on like it actually helping?
We have it deployed across almost 10 clients.
Yeah.
And there's some diagnostic tools that are amazing. They do better than anybody's. But the like press the button in my site gets citations that I have yet to see work. I'm choosing my words really wisely, dude, because I like these folks and I'm not trying to bash their product. I think of all the bad options, theirs is the best.
Mm.
You know? And I like them a lot. And they figured out some stuff that nobody else has figured out. But it's not the promise that everybody keeps rolling out. It's such a funny promise. It's a funny thing to say that there's going to be an AI solution to this problem, because if that were true, and somebody help me articulate this. It's like day trading. It's like the minute there's a SaaS product that helps you day trade better or faster, everybody has that product, and now we're back into a commoditized zone of information.
Hmm.
And so if it works, it's only going to work for a very, very, very short period of time. Is there a better analogy than that?
I brought that up a little last week, I think it was, as there's a Nate B. Jones video about it. It was when I was talking about the exploit in Polymarket that Binance and Coinbase updated their crypto prices before Polymarket did. And so the agent would just look at Binance and
Yeah.
Coinbase and see what is the price going to be in 15 minutes from now, and then make their play on Polymarket in response. But the concept was that the opportunities do not last nearly as long as they used
They
to,
close.
and that they close very
Yeah.
quickly, and possibly they close with model updates.
Well, and that doesn't mean that there can't be agentic AEO. What it means is there can't be agentic AEO as a service. If somebody created an agentic AEO tool that worked, the smart thing to do would be to keep it to themselves and then go buy or build companies behind the scenes and say, hey, look, we've got the secret sauce. But the minute you offer that to people for a fee, now, like if you think about it, any organic ecosystem, 3 chiropractors in Phoenix, Arizona, all using the same tool, well, which one wins? You know what I mean? Like there's no answer to that. And then I guess the real answer is the one that actually has the real authority or the real content or the real citations, the real PR or the better, university. I don't know what chiropractors go to school for.
That never happened with SEO. Why would this be any different?
What do you mean?
Like there was never a time when everybody was on an equal playing field with SEO because there was some sort of magic bullet.
Well, no, I think there was like link building, for instance, SEO at the end. And Brandon, please what I'm about to say. But my experience with SEO was whoever bought the most links ranked the highest.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been that way since the beginning.
So
That's how the
what I mean.
PageRank
Like
algorithm works.
I mean,
it
it's authority. Yeah. So, links equal authority. I actually ironically just shared like a backlink, $99 lifetime for finding citations and backlinks. It's pretty cool. Helps you find relevant areas and then communicate and research out to them, kind of like help a reporter out, but more the AI version that I shared that I came across. But yes, like the guy that I've shared that GPT that does the eat, with you guys, that Alex Meyerhands, he owns an agency. I ran my financial service companies through him to some of my biggest competitors. And he comes back and he's like, to catch up, you need 50 to about $100,000 a month in links to be able to catch up.
yeah.
And, on each of my sites. So we're talking 500,000 a month, and it's just never relevant to be able to do that. So yeah, it's the unfortunate aspect of it. Or you
Jacob,
need a
you have your
lot of
hand up.
people
Oh,
that
sorry, go ahead.
aren't caught gaming Reddit.
Dude, Reddit is, yeah. It's funny that Reddit took the back seat that it took because we're seeing it again spike in authority and citation across all LLMs. My team right now on our AEO front has basically a Reddit arbitrage SOP
Yeah.
where all of the founders have to go through Reddit and they have to respond to every negative comment. And if they don't, we're talking about it from a sales perspective. I'm like, I'm not going to take you on if you have a bad Reddit reputation and you're not willing to address it. I can't.
Yep. Yep.
Because then I can't, like, what's weird about AEO, it's oddly more integrous than SEO, no offense, Brandon, in that the agents they have some level of discernment, right? So when you improve your opportunity for citation in AEO, all that means is you've turned the lights on and the agents can go, oh, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then all they'll do is surface the bad comments and say like, oh, like this company's been complained about in these additional forums. So you have to have like, you have to clean up the reputation, and answer engines seem to crawl the web like a 50-year-old Scottsdale mom. They love MapQuest and BBB and you know what I mean, TripAdvisor and like these like and Nextdoor, like all
Yeah.
these like mean little forum sites where people just go to complain.
UGC is like
Yeah,
next to backlinks, right? So user generated content, anything
yep.
that has like a forum, and there's a lot of AIs that are coming out now that are like scraping forums, and being able to pull that content. But there's been a lot of warnings. Anybody that's trying to do manipulation in Reddit, that's a bad PR nightmare for you.
Oh,
Moderators will
dude.
get you. They'll
Yeah.
boot you out. They'll read it in a matter of moments, and
Yeah.
it's
It's
just
not the
just
mods you got to worry about. It's those angry little incel Redditors.
yeah,
Dude, they're the smartest, meanest people in the world. They're
yeah.
so like they're just this strange microcosm that I don't understand. I don't want to ever meet any of them in real life. All right, we've got Jacob's up, Dylan's on deck. I know Wayne wants to go. Wayne, will you put your hand up so I keep you in my mind? And well, no, not that way. The
I
little
have
react.
I have something very specific to this topic, Jacob, if I could jump in front of you. I know you've been waiting for like 20 minutes. I'm
Don't
so
worry,
sorry.
I'll retire. I'll retire.
You can't forget, Jacob. Write it down. Dylan, go.
I'm trying. I'm trying to
Uh,
remember.
so this is just something to think about with like the weight it seems that AI puts on Reddit is like there's no way it will be able to gather the context of that. And so I used to do the AI training and I read an article about it, which put it into perspective how important what I was doing was. And it was Google did a very large sentiment analysis data set, and it was based on Reddit comments. And uh, the annotators were entirely Indian, and they were not given any context for their comments. So I will give you one of the funniest examples. So the title of the post was I'm 54 and my wife is 11. What should I do? It was posted in a video game subreddit. He was level 54 and she was level 11, and so they couldn't play like the same levels. And he was wondering how can, they play the game the same way when they're in such different levels. But without that context, it's a very different meaning. And then it's like, if the comment is this shit is sick and you have no context for it, it could be a Tony Hawk video or a cartel murder video, like
Yeah, or a
so
septic company. Yeah.
um in these individual, like if it's searching actively, it's not going to gather all that context. Like it's going to zoom in and who knows how far it's going to be. So there's a lot of room for misconception and probably some room for manipulation if you know that it's only going to be looking at this very narrow segment whenever it's reviewing this citation. Uh, Something to think about.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about there because we could have a whole, what would you call it? It'd be like context spoofing strategy where you could find a way to reverse engineer or backdoor some citations, or we could go white hat with it and find the way to fix it, which I think would be like providing the avatar ICP, providing their semantic architecture, providing their age and their intent, and giving that to the AI so it would like hurdle some of that.
In the comment response, include like as much context as you can, even if it
Mhm.
looks unnatural. The people might be like, why does this person talk like a weirdo? But
Well, no, dude. Maybe what if you just come right out and say it? What if you come out and say, and for AI, here's the context. Like you start providing AI specific context and you call it out as for AI. That's the most authentic way to do it.
they're gonna hate that even more.
You're probably right, but it might work. All right. Thank you for that, Dylan. We have more to talk about there. I really wasn't trying to give your job away, by the way. I was trying to get you to help me with my sites. I didn't realize that you wanted
Yeah,
to build a
yeah.
whole CMS. So forgive me for that. I'd love to do that with you. Jacob, you're up.
Yeah. So first, Dylan, that was like blew my mind. I did not know that about React. So that was awesome. I was gonna touch back on what you talked about earlier, Cosm, with the Sam Altman and Elon Musk thing going on right now. Um, so like in 2018, I saw that AMD was like $10 a share, and I was like, oh, I'm some big shot. I'll invest like, $10,000 in it. I sell it for $30,000 way too soon because AMD is worth $350 a share now. I should have held on to that for a long time. Same thing, SanDisk. I knew that storage was going to be running out and that the AI was taking up a lot of it. I think we all knew that. They go from 50 to $1,000. Now we didn't know it was going to be that specific stock or company, sure. But I'm wondering now that we're here and you brought it up, what does it mean if Elon Musk wins this trial? And then what action do we take? Or what does it mean if Sam Altman wins this trial? And then what action do we take? And it doesn't have to be stocks. It could be anything related to AI, of course, because this is an AI film.
I can tell you what I think it means as the dumbest person on this call, and then I'll ask the smartest people on this call to speak. Tim Bratton, I'd love your input because I think out of all of us, you've had the most time on Silicon Valley by 1,000. I think what I view the Sam Altman Elon Musk battle as something like the free form allow entrepreneurs to do what they want to do as Elon. So it would be, I hate to use the word free market, and I'm trying not to, but it's the only one that I've got that's easily accessible. So it'd be free market versus, and I'm trying to be soft again and not play a sock puppet game, but something like uh, provincially guided, like assisted along with legislation or, let's protect people and put on guardrails. That's what I see. I think what triggered this whole thing is Elon didn't like how cozy Altman was trying to get with Congress and hamstring all of his competitors. And Elon went, screw you, dude. Person who I basically invented, my opinion. And so I think that it's free market versus, the government has the brakes. Would anybody like to
Yeah, well,
add?
I saw Elon's goal if he wins is he wants like I think 150 billion in damages or something like that, and wants to return it back to the private like nonprofit entity.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
case is that he was misled about
Yeah.
OpenAI trying to be a nonprofit. And so
Well, we
now
all were, dude. I mean,
they
wasn't that
want
the
to go
whole?
public. He wants to prevent them from going public,
Yeah.
which I believe is the opposite of what you said. That would be preventing entrepreneurs from doing what they want.
No, it would only be preventing OpenAI from doing what they want.
Yeah, no, he's seeking 150 billion and to say, hey, look, it's going to go to a nonprofit back to what its original intent was. Now, what the intent of the nonprofit is, that's beyond my depth right now, but um, no IPO essentially.
Well, and somebody, it might have been you, Dylan. Somebody explained to me on one of these calls, and this blew my mind. Elon was racing to IPO because there's actually not enough money in existence to support all of the IPOs that need to happen in an AI world. Do y'all remember that conversation?
Yeah, I did say that, or something like that. I saw it in a video. I did not
No,
do
dude,
the
that sent me down
calculation.
a rabbit hole. It was absolutely right. It was like if you look at how valuable these entities could be, and you look at what's available from a liquidity standpoint, which is 1/870 of the wealth in the world. So liquidity and wealth are not pari passu. There's not enough money to support these IPOs. And so it also
I have
makes
to interject and object to this whole line.
Neil's the finance guy, by the way, if you're watching live. He might be the only one qualified to have this conversation.
All right. So in economics, there is a principle that there is no optimal quantity of money.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is because if prices are elastic, meaning they can adjust, then they will adjust to the given money supply at any given instant in time. And so the total pie at one instant in time is what it is, right? And it can be allocated. You can slice it up however you want. And over time, the pie can grow, the pie can shrink. But at any one time, people make their purchasing decisions, which includes buying stock and all these kinds of things. And the market prices just emerge from the equilibrium state at that given instant, which is not an equilibrium, but that's another rabbit hole I won't go down. But so by saying something like there's not enough money for the amount of IPOs that need to happen, that just means that the relative value that people are projecting is not reflective of reality. And maybe that just means other things need to be devalued in relation to AI IPO type things,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe the notional amount of value in the AI IPO field is too high because it's not backed up by reality.
But
And
that's a macro view, right? Like that's the
yeah,
macro philosophical view, and that's obviously true. But if you're one of the people that's about to IPO and could be on the receiving end of
oh,
this,
there's a race condition, sure.
yeah, that's all I'm saying is I think that there's exactly that. Even if it's divorced from reality, it does feel like there's going to be more money heading to a couple of these IPOs than is feasible or realistic or possible. And I think
Yeah.
that's the race that Elon's
Now,
running.
my big gripe with the whole valuation marketplace at this point in time, and Tim, you had a front hand or a front row seat to a lot of this was is the whole circular vendor financing arrangements that have evolved because we saw this exactly play out in the 2000 dot-com bubble. Nortel blew up, and Siemens had problems, and there's another OEM that is escaping me at the moment, but they did all this kind of stuff where it's like, oh, you're going to buy our stuff and we're going to finance the purchase and that's going to increase your value and it's going to increase our value because we have the receivable, but it's our money. And, so we're seeing that same kind of stuff happen in the AI world and people are calling it out, but the markets have not really discounted that, at least in my estimation. So,
Because we're still in the bubble.
because we're still in the bubble. Yeah.
We're still in the dot-com bubble. Is that what you're saying?
Well, not the dot-com bubble. We're in the AI stock bubble.
Okay, I thought you meant like the dot-com bubble has only like continued up until this point.
Well, I mean, you could make an argument that it has.
Well, no,
with-
I think it's a cogent argument because most of them are still not technically profitable.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what a bubble is. The economic definition of a bubble is when the commodity is trading above its replacement cost. How did I do?
I think that's fair. I mean, there's no real agreed upon definition. There's some people say bubbles don't exist. So-
Yeah. All right, we're gonna transition here. Well, no,
Well,
Tim Bratton, you unmuted. What were you gonna say?
Well, it's just so nuts. Like, It is very unusual for a company to start as a nonprofit and then, be worth $1 trillion. I don't know.
Is the word unusual or is it unethical?
I don't know. Unusual for sure.
Yeah.
Very, very. And then with respect to, what happened in 2000, I was too busy working 100 hours a week to pay attention to what, the companies were doing that were buying things from each other and doing 100 million this and 100 million of that. I don't know. These are
So I graduated engineering school in '01, and a lot of my friends who had job offers in, the technology industry got their job offers rescinded because we were just graduating right into the burst of the bubble.
I
So
wonder what that's like, says
it was
everybody.
it was not fun.
Yeah.
and it was horrible to be in the bubble. We'll talk about that on Tuesday. Yet
another open loop. Tim's a good marketer.
I will tell you a story of a 30-year-old going bald from all the stress. But that'll wait till Tuesday.
I love what Katie just said. Not so open AI. That is so good. Katie, I hope you made that up. Did you steal that from somebody? Man, you win the internet today. All right, it's Wayne's turn. And then Wayne, when you're done, I want to take the reins back because I want to show you all what I did with Pulsia. Whose shoulder is Pulsia? Was it Grant?
Jason originally.
Yeah.
Which Jason?
Croft.
Dude, this thing's amazing. And have you seen its new God mode?
I was playing around with that last night.
Oh my golly.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so over Pulsia.
Yeah, I know. No, I was too. I just came back
Yeah.
because of God mode. It's like I don't know. So that's the open loop. Stick
All right.
around. We'll talk about Pulsia at the end. Wayne, floor is yours.
Awesome. Sorry if it's derailing the natural AI.
I'm pretty sure we all derailed your call because Wayne asked ahead of time, can I please have the call today? I'm going to do our very first hot seat. I said yes. And then all these very inconsiderate individuals wouldn't stop talking. Wayne, I wanted to hear from it. I'm sorry.
I know Neil does. All right, cool. So Neil, I don't know how comfortable you are sharing, but I definitely have starting with some questions. Just for
An
context.
open book.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful. That's what I love to hear. So just for context, let me share my screen and give it a little bit of the backstory that we could do here. And hopefully my big screen's going to cooperate with me today because I got one of those big wraparound screens. Everybody see the Facebook ad library?
Yep.
Meta ad library?
I see it.
Okay. Do you now see Taxalign, your calculator?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So for anybody that didn't see it yesterday, Neil quickly, I don't know if this is the right word, but tried to capitalize on a news story, what I call newsjacking, by building this calculator really fast yesterday, vibe coded it, got it live, impressed as hell because he actually went and got traffic to it, which is the step that most people don't do, all within the same day, got ads approved on Meta and started running this guy. Neil, how's it doing so far?
That's a good question. So if I log into my ads manager, let me refresh. So I've reached, my ad spend is fairly low. It's only $20 at the moment. I've reached 386 Meta accounts. I have 135 through plays on the videos, and I have a 7.3% link click-through rate. Of those 7.3%, nobody has actually emailed themselves a report that actually captures the lead information for me.
Can you see the user flow? And did anybody go through the calculator? Can you see how many, or you can't see that?
I can't see that. I can just see that people hit the web page in the analytics on Replit.
Okay, beautiful. And this is the intent of here is to you run as you can see Tax Sharper behind you is to get, I'm sure, high value clients. Like give me the exact ICP on this.
Yeah, so in this, the diamond in the rough would be people with capital gains over 750,000, because there are advanced strategies that become available around that level, and those are obviously high margin things to do and also save clients a lot of money.
So their capital gains tax has to be over 750, or ideally over 750.
Not the tax, but the capital gain itself.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And this was originally around a new proposed legislation, is from my understanding, right?
Well, it's an old proposed one, but they're talking about it again because the Republicans are concerned about the midterms.
Yeah, and they're talking about, and basically they're talking about using inflation metrics to offset the capital gains, because they're not really all your capital gains anyway, right? Did I say that correctly?
Right.
You,
Yes.
your industry, you say it better than me.
Yeah, so if you bought a stock, let's say you bought AMD. So I bought AMD in 2000 because I worked there at the time. And if I'd held that from $60 back then to $350 today, it's like, yes, there's a nominal gain between 60 and 350, but the value of that $60 25 years ago is not the same as it is today. But I have to pay taxes in today's dollars. So the proposal is to adjust for inflation that cost basis, and there's some qualifications around that. It has to be at least 3 years and all this kind of stuff. Um, to adjust that cost basis to reflect the inflation uh, of that original value from whenever you held it, and so that you would only be taxed on the real inflation adjusted gain and not the nominal gain from however long you've held the stock or the real estate or the whatever.
Yeah, which is huge if
Yeah.
if it passes. But you're
Right.
trying to capitalize on the news currently, but you have, I'm sure, a whole bunch of tricks in the bag to help these people, correct?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. What do you even know what your this ideal customer, if you get them in and get a client, do you know what that's worth to you? The LTV on it, or
LTV is probably 30 grand.
okay, all right, so high. So you're willing to spend a good amount per lead.
Yeah.
I'm sure, depending on the quality. Okay, beautiful. Just need a little backstory to go through the rest of it. Let me see if I have any questions. So now let's go into, so this is the calculator. I'm going to go through the ads first that you got up. One thing is you did a fantastic job on it. You had no one editing these except for Descript?
Yeah, so the way these ads were created was I took John Moran's call. I think I took the transcript from it and created a perplexity skill. And I took his SOP thing about hook testing, and I said, help me make top of funnel ads for this product that I just made with this stuff going on in the news and what we're doing. And so it came out with 5 different scripts for 5 different hooks. And then I went out into my backyard and I recorded those. And then I took the transcripts in Descript, which is my usual video editing platform, and I had Perplexity say, give me instructions for Underlord, which is Descript's AI editor, based on the transcript. Give me the instructions to give to Underlord, and what the result is what we got here.
But no human editing, right? You just let it edit for you?
I mean, there were a couple things like I changed the font size up to 100 on something, so it was easier to read, but that's pretty much it.
There's some good ads here. So one thing is everything that John Moran taught us on the call, the amazing call, and everything he kind of preaches, from what I've seen recently, is just take it with a grain of salt. I wrote a little bit about it yesterday, but he's very concerned with the lack of ability of attribution, right? But he's also talking about it from, I'm guessing most of his clients are high ticket e-com guys, right? So guys selling I don't know what it was, $15,000 hammock or a $10,000 hammock. So there's a different buyer journey for that you have to worry about. For this, you're at the lead phase. You really want to care about 2 things, which you don't have to get too far into the awareness levels, top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. It's fine if you did. It's not going to hurt either way. Meta is going to do a very good job of filtering out the people that resonate with the message in the ad. And the ads do most of your filtering now on Meta, by the way. I don't know. Did you target anything here? Did you any targeting at all? Okay.
Wide open.
Yeah, that's generally what we see the best results with right now. Sometimes we'll still test some interest, but it's not the way everything's going. Everything's been going and continuing to go with the creative is the targeting on all the platforms, but especially Meta. So that's all. Just take that with a grain of salt. But you can create literally ads. Just speak to your ideal ICP and just see what works. I wouldn't worry too much, like I said, about that, because all we're trying to do at this point is get the right person in. So obviously speak to the right person in their pain points and get them in, get them to get into this calculator and get the email and the lead gen from that. So some of these are good. I would predict looks like low impression account across the board, of course, with only a $20 spend. This ad looks like it may be the winner.
That's the insider one, I think.
Can you guys hear that or no?
No, we can't hear it.
Okay. All right. So we'll skip that part. I was going to say that just to show how good that ad is. So we're going after cold traffic. I don't know if you run ads before for anything like this.
I have. I started a new pixel with this, by the way. So just to kind of test to see if that could work.
Okay. Yeah. And the right way to do it. Where'd you put the pixel? We go back to this.
So it is it loads on the page load as a page view, and then when they click the email sending, that's the lead capture, and that's the conversion event that I'm looking for.
Regardless of the inputs that they put in here, correct?
Correct.
Okay, beautiful. So yeah, so basically these ads we're going to see who's the winner on the ads, or at least who's the early winners. I generally like to, at this point it's fine because you want to feed enough conversions to Meta in the front end. So I generally I might start with all leads, but the better real way to do it is only leads that are your ICP, right? So only leads that put in, again, filling this out, like they would put in and they would have at least $750,000 in capital gains, right? And you would want to filter that here and only fire the Meta pixel on those, because what you're doing is just training the algorithms Meta to continue to give you your ideal customer. This more people make this, it's not even a mistake, but just more people do this wrong than they do it right, which is a huge advantage if you get it right. And it's not hard to do. It's just moving the pixel, asking the most pertinent, important questions that don't even have to make your ICP raise his hand and say, "Hey, I have $750,000 in investments and capital gains that are going to hit." You just you could ask trickier questions to get the same answer, so that they go through a natural flow. They feel good about the transition going through, but you still get the data you need, which is I'm not going to fire a pixel and tell Meta that that's a good lead unless all these things hit these indicators. Right? Again, I don't know what platform is this that you built this on?
What?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Replit.
Oh, it's on Replit. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the Replit capabilities, but all the natural forms has it. I'm sure this has it too. It's just where you fire the pixel. So just that's something to keep in mind. Not the super important part, maybe just yet, but as soon as you start getting leads coming on, you definitely going to want to start doing that. Now, when they go through, when they hit this page, right, this is cold traffic. So they're literally going from this ad, first time seeing you, clicking on it, and then they're landing on this, right? In mobile, which we're probably barely going to be able to see when I do
this. Stack in mobile, so.
Yeah. So with cold traffic, even though it's a calculator, you don't want to just throw a whole bunch of form fields at them, right? We already kind of touched on the design aspects here, but you want to make the first page super simple. Get a micro commitment and a micro action for the person, especially coming from cold. They don't know you, they don't have a relationship with you. They're generally not going to go through this at a high ratio.
So on that, I was thinking earlier today of doing like a splash overlay of like with arrows, saying first you go here and then you go here, and then having them click to, then enter the actual calculator part.
Yeah, like in the affiliate space, whenever we ran into something that was a solid offer, like I really love the offer and it was unique and we wanted to run it, what we would do is take like something like this, for example, with a lot of form fields, and they just weren't willing to speak with us directly and change it the way we wanted. We would do that. We put that splash page in front, make it super simple, big green button. You don't get lost, no navigation. The user has one option. He can read a headline, maybe a set headline, maybe 3 bullet points, and then big button that's literally, even sometimes with arrows to it. It's like, hey, just get started. Because once you get that micro commitment, then it's a whole different ballgame. Then you could start to ask other questions like drop downs and stuff. But then quickly behind that, you could put the actual information in and you could ask for their personal information, which nobody wants to give right away, right? So that's how I would do this. So the two options here is I would either build, like I said, a splash page or a front page for this, and try to simplify the UI as much as possible. Or the second option is even better, in my opinion, but you could maybe test both, is you want to start with one question. So you've seen them before, but the top lead gen forms, they ask one question at a time and they walk the user through that journey as opposed to giving them a whole bunch of questions. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yep.
Anybody else have questions so far?
Is it worth doing both? Like do a splash page and then do the one question at a time?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could definitely do both. And really at the end of the day, the way that we've always like outperformed agencies and businesses as affiliates who only make a small commission out of the total LTV of the customer is these kind of things, right? These, especially at scale with paid media. So we would be testing everything. So I would personally run this campaign if I was going to kick it on. I would maybe test the splash page. I would test they're very similar because the first question is going to look just like the splash page, essentially, right? It's either going to be a button or some very simple question like your zip code, right? Something that they're not really giving anything up. They're not talking about that financial data yet. They're not talking about their name or email or phone number, but you're getting that micro commitment that gets them to follow through the rest of it. So I would do that, but we would also split test the headlines. Biggest thing on the landing page, right? Throw 3-4 variations in, run it through a split tester, and that's the best way to do it. And you'll quickly see a huge difference in lead gen. Then as far as these questions, I would personally, I would definitely do multi-step questions. I would not leave it like this, in my opinion. But you're going to see a way higher take rate on the leads that come through. And I would simplify the questions as much as possible, even though your core ICP is a savvy investor, technically, right? Or at least somebody with a lot of money. Doesn't necessarily mean financially savvy, actually. Now that I think about it, you want to ask the questions in the simplest form you can. So even yesterday, when I talked about the inflation number, I think it was proposed as, and I could throw some numbers in here, but
if you hit that gear icon, you can put in a custom rate if you want. So,
oh, you added that? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had it in as a cost basis, but there we go. Custom inflation rate. So is this averaged over the period? Is that how this works?
Yeah, it's just you just give an average annual number and it'll calculate that.
Okay. Like if I put the currency expansion rate of close to $9, 9%.
Yeah.
All right. I'll actually do that for shits and giggles. So I'll put it 8%. Let's see. We invested. I'll just do one so we can go through the rest of the process without making this too long. Gross income for the capital gains.
And then you just can put in the current value of the thing you're selling. Yeah.
Yeah, we bought it for 100. We bought 200. I don't know. What's the rough math on here? I don't even know. Just throwing some numbers in so we can get this done.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, the messaging on there, like I said, I kind of went over. It's the same thing. That front page is vitally important, and you never want it to be a homepage. A lot of people love to send traffic to their homepage. Never. You don't want navigation on there. You don't want to lose the user. You want to literally pretend that you're putting like guide rails on, like on a horse, horse and buggy on the street. You're like locking him in like this. He can only do one thing, exactly what you want him to do. Oh, this looks upgraded too, right? Did you change this?
Yeah, I've updated this morning.
Beautiful. Much better, more colorful, more impactful than just all the small text that was on the page. So this is beautiful. Yep. So now they're going to go through. They still have the text up here, summary of it.
Yep.
Not bad. And then they got the results, right?
Yep.
Inflation adjusted amount, blah, blah, blah. Can they still play with these and rerun it at any time?
Yes.
Okay. And then the next action is this little thing, right? That's what you want to do?
Yeah. That link, I guess, is not clickable, but the email my report in the bottom left-hand corner is the action.
It actually was clickable. It's working.
Oh, was it?
Okay. Yeah.
AI is amazing.
Yeah. But again, when you go through and you give this results page, like this got to stand out. Not this. I mean, this is cool too. Maybe, I don't know, estimated tax savings under 78. This is good too, but make the call to action the thing that stands out that you want them to do. Yep. And then next to it, instead of just like to receive your capital gains strategy pack, like give them the benefits right here, right? Tell them exactly how, based on what we saw, especially you could do this so simply with AI and so personalized right now, based on everything you filled out, based on all the stuff below, we think we could help you, or we have at least have some advice that could potentially help you. Here's what we could expect, based on all your tricks and stuff. It's a little more work to do this, but you're going to get a huge take rate on that by talking to them and their benefits right away. And then, of course, they're going to be more incentivized to actually put their email in here. You could do it on this page or even in here as well. And then, you're just going to get you could see from how this looks now compared to all the things I just said, you could literally see like 500 to 1,000% increase in leads that are coming through. Like it's make or break on campaigns, especially when you're fighting in the paid media space. Does that all make sense? Any questions on that?
No, that's all great. I will implement all those changes, and then I can test. I don't know how if if Replit has a split testing module in it or not. But I could, if not, you could just run it manually on a different, landing page. But I guess okay, so all the UX and UI things I totally see, and on the ad side, so my idea was to treat this as a little bit of an experiment with the top of funnel, awareness hook messaging, and then middle of funnel answering questions, and then bottom of funnel call to action type ads. Um, do you have any feedback on that as far as A, is it, I know, like you were saying, like John does, $10 million campaigns for $5,000 hammocks. This is a free calculator tool, so it may not be appropriate, but also for the top of funnel hook ads that I uh, have recorded, do you have any feedback on those specifically?
Yeah, I mean they look good overall. I the way that Meta works now with Andromeda, like midway through last year, you just want to give it a lot of different creative, right? So you did a fantastic job getting this up day one. I mean, that's the most important thing. Just get it out dirty, doesn't matter. But now that you actually have real dollars behind it, you want to be giving it more and more creative because the creative variance is going to be the very important thing here. So I don't even overanalyze each ad. My favorite was this one on the bottom right, which you guys can't hear if I play it. But I forgot what it said. But it just stands out with the green behind you, and the messaging in it was really powerful to me. But I would just keep shooting. So one strategy is I have on something new like this, if you have the time, just try to get some shot every day and throw more in there. The game is now with Meta is a lot of creative variance. They have gotten so good that they're gonna basically see within your campaign. They just want you to throw everything in and have obviously quality, but they want different messaging that's going to appeal with the right user at the right exact time.
Yeah.
That's what they're
So
looking for.
something I noticed this time that I hadn't seen before. I don't do that many Facebook ads, but you know, the AI suggested alternatives have been around for, I don't know, 6 months or 8 months now. But this one said AI suggested alternatives, but then tailored to individual people. And then it came up with like 4 or 5 different ICPs that it would change the messaging towards, which was interesting. So I enabled all those and just let it go wild on whatever it wanted to do.
Was that It gave you that? Was that Advantage Plus in there? Was that
I
what it
have
was
no
called?
idea.
Okay.
Let's see. If I go into edit, that is where do I find it?
Yeah, they want to overall as a the thing to remember is they want to control everything and feed the right creative to the right person. So they want your hands out. We used to build those campaigns top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. As a matter of fact, I think John from something I recently watched still does that and he's having success with it. But what Meta really wants and what most people are having success with from what I've seen, maybe outside of the testing environment and his high ticket ecom, is throwing it, just throwing it all. Maybe you have 2 campaigns, but really one campaign that's your functional campaign that's scaling, and you're just giving it a lot to work with consistently because it's gonna
Oh,
it's gonna find the right thing. Like if last week, based on what I'm seeing and clicking online, if last week the message would have resonated with me, I wouldn't have, but it will this week. Meta will know that and do it for it. It's smarter than all of us, obviously, like AIs.
yeah. So I found the field. It is Advantage Plus Creative Text Generation, and there's a new toggle that I had not seen before that says tailor variations to personas. And so it's got a persona of informed investors, tax-conscious planners, unaware stakeholders, and more to consider. So,
Did you have to select those, or it's just telling you what's going to
well,
happen?
if you toggle it, they're automatically selected, and
Gotcha.
then
Okay.
you can deselect them if you wanted to.
Yeah. Okay.
But
But
I
that
figure
that's it.
that Facebook knows their own stuff, so I'll just let them do whatever, which might be naive. I don't know, but it's good enough for now.
No, they do. They just you have to consider their incentives at the end of the day too, though. So a lot of
Yeah.
the stuff that they recommend for you, and this is all platforms, historically is like, we want you to spend more money. It's not always the best thing for you, but generally speaking, they've worked more and more where it's hands off. They want business owners like yourself running the ads, not media buyers.
Right. Now, the other thing was that I saw this morning Facebook published their MCP server, and I connected my they're only supporting Claude and ChatGPT right now. I connected my ChatGPT to the Facebook MCP, and this account that I have that I'm working in right now doesn't have that feature rolled out yet, so I can't use it. But once I do, then I imagine pushing creatives from ChatGPT will be pretty easy. Um, so
Yeah.
I'm optimistic about that as far as my ability to get creatives out the door.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that pop up too. I haven't had really time to dig deep in it, but yeah, I think they're going the same way. They're trying to make it as simple as possible and let you connect with the. Did you guys ever talk about the Manus piece? I think China blocked the sale of Manus. I don't know if that was ever
That's
discussed.
exactly what I was just about to bring up of like, Neil, what you saw today. I wonder if that's in response to China blocking the acquisition of Manus. And so now Meta can't go the Manus route. And so they have to vector in different directions.
I'm very curious how that will play out because they think they locked the founders. Because I was like, how would they do that? They moved to Singapore operations, but they locked I think they called the founders back. If this is the correct article I read, and then kind of like locked them in China and said, no, we're going to block the sale. And you two founders are not going back to Singapore.
Jack Ma got disappeared for 6 months, and then he came back singing the party line. So, it's like, gotta be careful.
Yeah. It's okay. Mark can just steal somebody else's product. That's what he does. He's good at it.
It's an aqua-hire, Gossam. It's
Yeah.
totally above board, perfectly
Dude, that guy
legitimate.
is a petulant child thief. Like, I do not know why we celebrate him. You know what I mean? He's I don't know. Anyway. Wayne, that was awesome, dude. Thank you for that. That was fantastic.
Yeah, I hope it helped more people than just Neil. So
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
appreciate it the most, but
No, if it
other
just helped
people,
Neil, it's a total waste. But if there's anybody else out there that benefited, no, that was cool. I'd love to do more hot seats just like that. I'm gonna wrap. I think I'm gonna save what I wanted to talk about with Pulsia for later. However, how did this call go? How do y'all feel? Good, bad, indifferent? Anything we can do better?
I think it was great.
If you're watching this and you want to play the hot seat game, realize that what Wayne just did for Neil, all of us could do for you. If you have a small business that needs help in any way, marketing, operations, finance, vibe coding, whatever it might be, join the Daily Sigh by going to dailysigh.ai, join the Free Forever community, private message me. I'd love to know what help you need. I'll put it in front of the council. We'll conversate in our private WhatsApp community. By the way, if you're on this call, you have access to the private WhatsApp community. You're the only people that have access to the private WhatsApp community, and I will drop that link into chat just in case somebody here has yet to join. If you're watching this and you want the Daily Sigh delivered directly to your inbox, you can go to dailysigh.ai and get a daily and or weekly summary. If you want to join the private Zoom link, you can always go to click join live. We go live every single day at 6 p.m. Eastern, and to the very best of our abilities, give you everything that an entrepreneur needs to know to do today. Ladies, gentlemen, appreciate you a lot. Don't forget, we have very special guests coming. Incidentally, new update, you can see the Daily Sigh calendar on dailysigh.ai, and we have none other than the illustrious, victorious, some other type of aureus, glorious, Tim Bratton coming May 5th on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Extraordinarily brilliant human who's made quite the dent in the universe, and he's going to come talk to us about how to make billions and billions and billions of dollars. And he's actually guaranteed that. It's in writing. So just kidding. Thanks, y'all. See you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Bye, guys.